Story of my life.
Hey internets, it's Jake from Mini Terrain Domain, and this is Welcome to Paradise, Michigan, our Kids on Bikes RPG set in the fictional town of Paradise, Michigan in 1980 something. This is episode 24, Hungry Like the Wolf. And if only I could play the Duran Duran song, I absolutely would. I was listening to it today in preparation. We're going to get into a little bit of a recap and get into the game here in just a moment. I have a couple of announcements. First and foremost is, for weeks, I was promoting the Legends of Eleonora charity stream here, asking you all to come check it out, which happened this past Saturday. Jeremy, if you could put ! Donate in the chat. Our donations are still open. Our current tally. Now get ready for this. This game was epic. Todd Stashwick, okay. Matt Lillard, Mika Burton, Tawny Newsom, Jack Quaid, amazing auction winner guests, Michael Steinbach and Chuck Lazaro. They played a 3-hour game that lasted 5 hours. Because they were having so much fun. And in that 5 hours, we raised the on-screen total, and this is what the total is right now because we've made $600 just in the last couple days. $24,669.69. Now, if you add to that the auction totals for the two seat winners, that is $32,930 ish. Basically, that's $33,000 that we raised in one event in 5 hours. Pavlov was absolutely over the moon. They said it was unprecedented single event fundraising for them. We had a blast. ! YouTube. We'll give you the link to the YouTube channel where all of our VODs are played, but you can actually watch that game. The donation links are in the chat. They appear on screen the whole time. Whether you've missed the game and you want to catch up on it, or you just want to watch it again because it was that awesome. I have to go back and watch it because I was producing it, which means I barely know what happened in the game. And because a couple of them are here, Tomiko and Jeremy, I do want to say a tremendous thank you to the moderators behind the scenes. Jeremy and Tomiko, along with our friends Jay and Karen. Did I miss anybody?
Gary, don't
and
forget
Gary,
Gary.
yes.
I wasn't there.
Why do I keep forgetting you, Gary?
I was chaperoning. I wasn't. Or
Gary,
Gary or
no,
Carrie?
Gary. But Carrie, you did show up late.
I was there for a little bit.
So you count.
I just like to pop in.
But yes, huge thank you to the moderators that allowed Dwight and I to focus on what we were doing while we were producing the game. It was an awesome success. We had a blast. And I would look for more of those to happen in 2024. Possibly at least one or two more. So yeah, thank you. And I believe because we had a lot of new followers to the channel, we can expect to see new viewers here to our various streams. So if you are somebody that's coming to us from the Legends of Eleonora, welcome, and we hope you enjoy our shows. I will tell you,
welcome.
This isn't charity, so it's not PG-13. We do have safety tools in place to make sure that our characters, our players and our characters, not our characters. Our characters are not safe, but our players are safe. We know what our lines and veils are, and we keep an eye on one another. Since we just got that donation, I will go ahead, and if you look up above where Tomiko is, you'll see the domain pops, and another one magically appears. These are a way that you, the audience, can have an influence on the game. It helps support the channel. Subscriptions, gift subs, resubbing, $5 tips, 500-bit cheers, all earn domain pops that are most often used as either adversity tokens, meaning they can add a +1 for each domain pop to any given roll, or they can spend 5 of them to make somebody roll on the D100 mystery grab bag roll table. where only fun things happen. So,
Hashtag never again.
so yeah, be sure to check that out. I do have, before we get into our final thing, one new promotion that I wanted to bring up. Please check out the expedition engines on Drive-Thru RPG. Our own Jeremy from Erasmus Expeditions has created these one-page RPGs for fast, easy narrative roleplay. You can play, I can't read it. It's so small now. It's the pirate one.
Black Hearts on Blue Seas.
Black Hearts on Blue Seas. Or if you want some pulp primal adventure in the jungle, check out Monster Jungle. Maybe your thing is end of the world, undead zombies, then Dead End is the one you're going to want to check out. For, I hate calling it flavor of undead, but well, that's the way it is. But if you prefer a high octane, just energetic game, you want to check out Acid Rain. These are all available on Drive-Thru RPG. A QR code will show up in just a moment. Or, Jeremy, you could go ahead and type !Erasmus in the chat. And that should have a direct link to the store where you can pick those up. And if I remember to do it, somebody please remind me. When we go to break, I'm going to give away all 4 of these. I'm going to do a giveaway in the chat, and it's open to everyone. They're digital downloads, and I will buy you 4 of these and send them to you to Drive-Thru RPG. Yay! So please do check out. I've had the honor of playing in a couple of these and playing in many of Jeremy's games. He works very hard on making these accessible and awesome, and so that's why I wanted you to know about them. All right, and he had no idea I was going to do this tonight, so there's his very shocked and confused face. But we support our players and the other people here, so expect to see other promotions as we have in the past for people that have in our games and in our community that have products. So somebody please remind me to do the giveaway when we go to break. The last thing I want to mention before we get started is, of course, one of the most important things we do before every game that we play is just a reminder that you matter. Your presence on this earth makes a difference. Whether you believe it or not, it is true. There are any number of reasons you could be struggling. First off, it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to struggle. But you do not have to struggle alone. At any time, you can come into our chat. As Jeremy has just done, you can type !help. A couple of URLs will pop up. Findahelpline.com, or you can check out takethis.org's growing list of resources. We encourage you to check out those websites, bookmark them, save them for yourself, save them for a friend. And remember, you matter. With that, I would like to say welcome to Paradise, Michigan. In our most recent adventures, we had the party was just all to the winds. This group of kids had wound up in different locations because of, well, going through the doors in the ley lines. We've learned, just as an overview, that here on your summer vacation in Paradise, Michigan in 1980-something, you've learned that there are ley lines that are intersecting all over the city or the town. You've learned that there are green doors with brass handles that don't always go where you think they're going to go. And that's partly why you all wound up in different locations. We wound up with Jessica having her mirror self, known as Anne, manifest in the real world. Jeremy, it is lagging for everyone. My internet will spike periodically. Please just bear with it. There's nothing I can do about it, but I've got it down to just minimal spikes. So Anne is manifested in the real world. Billy appears to be fighting against a forced cryptid protocol that when he was captured by the Nexus Project. Rosie wound up back at the basement of Page's bookstore with the 7. Oak, Coop, Laz briefly appeared in the Nexus laboratories with right next to the mysterious entity known only as Persephone. You all quickly went through a door and appeared in Laz's bedroom at his grandparents' house in Twilight Grove Senior Living Community. I think I covered everybody. Eventually, you all followed through on the plan that you had made, which was, should you all get separated, meet up at the barn. Anne and Billy were there already, as was Jessica, though Jessica had recently just learned that she has the ability to phase through objects and has been causing quite a bit of havoc with that. Some guards were left behind from the Nexus Project, a couple of armed guards and a man in a suit. Anne headed around the back of the barn to take care of the 2 armed guards, while Billy went inside the barn to deal with the suit. Opening himself up to the influence of the rising full moon visible during the day, Billy began pummeling this man and did not stop until he was unrecognizable, and his hands were literally dripping with blood. As Rosie, riding in the vehicle with members of the 7, Betty and Shakiti in the Jeep Wagoneer, are pulling up alongside the road. Coming up through the field is Coop, Oak, Laz, and Persephone. Anne is coming just around from the other side, and as of right now, though when we ended, Jessica was approaching, Jessica is nowhere to be seen by anybody else. And as we pick up in where we left off, the scene, as I want to set this, is picture that sort of shaky handheld camera from inside the darkened or relatively darkened barn. As we see the Jeep Wagoneer approaching up the road, and before it even stops, Rosie is jumping out, quickly followed by Shakiti. The vehicle comes to a halt, kicking up dust and gravel, and Betty turns off the engine and gets out, standing sort of up on the edge of the where you get in and sort of looking over the door, just being prepared. Coming up from the side, we see Laz, Coop, Oak, and Persephone, though only the 3 of you know who she is. Anne is approaching around from the other side, though to be fair, most of the rest of you probably aren't really sure if that's Anne or Jessica. What you see, for a moment, we see the back of Billy stepping forward. As Billy steps forward into the light, we see the close-up of Billy's hands. Blood coating them, dripping down into the ground at the entrance to the barn. As Billy, you step into the sunlight, breathing heavily, your heart beating, pounding in your ears. Those of you that look upon Billy, you see that his eyes are yellow.
Ooh.
He stands breathing heavily, blood dripping from his hands. What would you all like to do?
How far away? Yeah, sorry. How far away did the Jeep stop? Approximately.
Within 50 feet.
Oh, okay.
Coop's pushing his bike and he's just like, Rosie! Hi! Hi, Rosie!
Hi.
Oh!
Hi. Coop, hi. Coop,
Billy!
hi. I am signaling for Coop.
Guy out.
I'm signaling for Coop to kind of stay behind me if I can. Like
You're
I'm
not
just
even
kind of like
looking.
motioning.
You're just sort of like eyes on Billy, just going.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, like motioning for Coop, kind of.
Wait, what's going on?
I think Laz is like trucking up, kind of trailing behind because he's carrying Oak on his back.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Aw.
Oh,
he offered to give him a piggyback
He
ride if he
did.
got tired. And
Oh.
if you've ever offered any child a piggyback ride, they will take you up on it at some point.
Immediately. I'm tired
Yeah.
now.
Yep, exactly. So I imagine he's kind of somewhat out of breath. You know, he's not a super strong dude. So he's rolling up on the scene, kind of lowering Oak back down to the ground. What's going on?
So I imagine when you see, the front of Billy, like it's not a situation where like he turns around slowly. It's a quick, there was a sound, a trigger, and he turns around. He's still huffing and puffing, doesn't immediately lunge or do anything in the direction of the others, unless I have, some unprompted action triggered by the GM here. But he's like looking side to side and like taking in the information without actually doing anything. And then he just kind of like slumps down to one knee, seeing that it's not anything he has to, react to. And he mumbles something, and, it's clear it didn't come across, and it's like, it's not my blood.
Are his eyes yellow?
Yeah. Billy, are you still like Billy?
Do I
Hey-
have
Hey, buddy.
control of myself, Jake?
For the time being, you do.
Yeah, it's me.
What?
And there's a casual glance, looking up at the sky for just a moment as you ask that.
Holy shit. Well, Billy, we gotta clean you up. Those guys they could be coming back. We have to clean you up, and we gotta get out of here. We gotta hide him. And Rosie kind of glances down, but then kind of like makes herself glance away from
Rosie.
the carnage at his feet.
As you look down, so the man is behind him in the barn.
Okay.
Billy is at the main entrance of the barn.
Okay.
But as you've walked up to him, Billy has dropped down to his knees,
Uh-huh.
hands just sort of resting on the ground. Rosie, as you walk up saying, "We got to get you cleaned up," you notice that where Billy's hands are touching the ground, you see the blood withdrawing from his hands, down his arms, and seeping into the ground as if being absorbed by the very ground. Make me a grit check, by the way, as I continue to learn these rules a little better. I will be using grit as a perception check occasionally.
Okay.
It's a better check than brains, because grit is your ability to pick up on other people's emotions as well as street smarts, things like that.
I don't
So-
remember why, but I have it written down. I think it was 2 sessions ago. You told me to take a +3 to my grit next time it was like stress related.
Yeah, I do
this
remember
count?
giving you that. I don't remember the
Okay,
reason,
okay.
but yes.
That's okay. I did something really good, probably. Okay. I got a 14 grit check.
Over Billy's shoulders, about 12 feet behind him in the barn, you glance in and you see a man wearing a suit. Black suit, black tie, what was probably a white shirt, but is now mostly stained red. An unrecognizable face beaten to a pulp.
Rosie
you
like
watch-
turns over her shoulder. Oh, sorry.
And then what catches your eye about this isn't so much the body, but the movement that you see. As the body is it's like vines are coming up out of the floor of the barn and are quickly wrapping themselves around this body. And you realize as the vines are coming up and pulling across the suit, they're not vines. It's rusty barbed wire wrapping around this body and pulling it down into the earth. You all hear off to the left. Now remember, there's one of these Black Crown Vics that had a man half absorbed or half phased out the door and a couple men inside that were phased through seats. You hear the sound of screeching metal as rusty barbed wire is coming out of the ground and starting to entwine the car. And you watch as this car is being crushed by this barbed wire. And the car, you hear, it gets folded in half,
Just
crumpled up, and begins
and the band
rotating
is still playing
down into the ground. This is happening all just before you can barely react to it. Everything that happened, in fact, Anne quickly runs past where Laz, Coop, and Oak came up and kind of looks around to the backside of the barn where she took care of the other two guards. And those of you that can see her just see her go, "Holy shit." And she kind of turns white and comes back, and she just goes to Coop and Oak, don't look back there. In a moment,
Rosie,
any sign
sorry.
of anything that had previously happened is gone.
Yes.
Even the blood on Billy's hands.
So I stand up, having looked at all of this, and Billy looks angry, and he gets quick composure of himself and turns to Anne. Where's Jessica?
I'm going to need you to make a D100 roll, Ted. We're going to determine if you do gain composure of yourself.
Oh,
Awesome.
shit.
47.
It's difficult. When you feel that anger rising, you feel it wants to release. It wants to lash out at someone, but you're able to push it down, and you turn, and maybe a little harsher than you intended, you say to Anne, "Where's Jessica?" through gritted teeth or something, maybe. Anne kind of looks around at everybody.
Can I expand on that?
Yeah,
just a
absolutely,
second?
absolutely.
So, I imagine seeing the car first, because he walked away from the barn, and as people begin to react, and he takes that in, he turns back and looks at the barn, looks at what he did, and as he sees the body being wrapped up and pulled underground, it's like he lets out an actual snarl, yells no, and then just shakes his head and turns back towards the group, kind of almost clenching it down, and tries to focus on something else, and in so doing sees that she's not there and asks Anne, where's Jessica? And probably could still come out as a bit of a growl, but yeah.
First off, can you hear me?
Yes.
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 Okay. Only a couple second lag spike. Anne comes around, comes closer to you, Billy. Kind of gives you a little bit of a side eye, like, how dare you snap at me like that? And she starts looking around, and she says, I can't feel her.
But do I pick up on the attitude of like the how dare you?
Oh yeah, she like Jessica. She doesn't really contain her disgust sometimes.
Sure. I'm still trying to figure all of this out. I did not mean to direct any of that towards you or any of you.
Wait, was Jessica here?
Yes.
Did she get sucked into the ground by the barbed wire stuff?
How did your, shall we call it an assault, go? Imagine you're surprised you would know if something had happened.
I mean, it was fine, I guess.
No,
This is,
I was directing that to Anne.
Oh,
Oh yeah. It's
um,
fine, I guess.
well, I took them out with non-lethal force, but they're gone. They didn't leave. Kind of like, and she just kind of points at where the body was in the barn and kind of gestures over to the car.
The plan was to use non-lethal force and possibly get some answers, but
Well, you didn't exactly follow through on that, did you?
no. And he literally like lowers his head, like, you know, clearly ashamed.
Guys, this is all very important and insightful, but we'll do some team building and trust falls and shit later, but we've got to get out of here. I think they could be coming back any minute, and by the way, I think we should probably come up with a new like meet-up spot if we get separated again, because this is not going to do the trick anymore.
Well, we didn't know where we were. We set this up, so I apologize for that too. We just picked somewhere. Once we get out of here, we can pick somewhere else.
Yeah. Once we get out of here, everybody, let's go. Let's go.
There's certainly not enough room for all of us in the car.
Well,
Where are we going?
I think Oak, you should be in the car. Coop, you should be in the car. Laz, do you want to, you and me, we can cut across the field. Our grandparents are right over that way,
Rosie.
right?
Yeah, that's fine.
I would like you to make a grit check, please. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's a DC 20.
Okay.
What's your grit die?
Here. D20.
Okay.
I did not pass. I did not do it.
Well,
I got a 6.
a
That's too damn
6.
many pops. I'm not doing it. I'm not
A
doing it. That's
6
so much money. As somebody who
means-
frequently buys the pops.
A 6 means
That's
you
too-
failed by 14. The failure is profound. There will be consequences for this failure, likely in keeping with what would be expected, but that doesn't mean that they won't be very bad. The consequences may strongly influence the course of the current play session.
Don't forget to take your adversity token.
So,
I don't have any. I succeed too often.
no, you
No,
get
no, I
you
mean,
get an
you get
adversity
one.
token for failing.
Oh, thanks. Okay, never mind. I don't fail ever. So this is what
So-
okay. Thanks, Tamiko.
Rosie, as you turn to Coop, Oak, and Laz, starting to tell them they should get in the car, your words catch in your throat. Not in a I'm involuntarily unable to speak way, but in a you have just seen something that has just shocked you to your core.
Well,
Standing next to Oak, Coop, and Laz is a woman who you've only ever seen in pictures. This woman looks exactly like your mother.
oh
Damn it, Jake!
Didn't see that one coming, did you?
no, that hurts my stomach. Oh man. Yeah. Yeah. Rosie, like, if you see like the quick zoom in, like as she turns, and you see like she does, like her eyes like shoot wide, and her body is just still, and she's breathing heavily, and she blinks like hard a couple of times, and then she just kind of, like you said, cuts off in mid-sentence almost, as she's kind of beginning to direct traffic, and she just doesn't move. She like wants to walk over there but can't.
Oh, oh no, Rosie, don't worry. She's a good guy. This is Persephone. We found Persephone.
What's her name?
Persephone. She's gonna help us. It's gonna be fine.
She's the one who's more powerful than Algernon is.
I'm sorry. Everything is happening so fast. I didn't figure we had time for introductions. Yes, as they said, I am Persephone, and up until about an hour ago, or less, I was locked up in the Nexus Laboratories, prisoner of the scientists there. But
Okay.
thanks to these kids, I'm out now, and I'm not entirely sure what I've gotten myself into.
Right. Okay. Okay. We need to go.
What about the new development? We talked about it before.
The new development would be perfect, I think. Yeah. So, Coop, Oak, get in the car. Laz and I are gonna cut across the field, and Billy, you do whatever you need to do, man. You and your new girlfriend here can stick together.
Billy gives you a look at that, and
So does
just
Anne.
turns and begins walking in the direction we're supposed to be heading.
Rosie like takes one more, like turns to face the field and starts walking even, but kind of keeps looking back, like she can't believe it, and then just like forces herself to keep walking.
Who pops into the Jeep? Just like, hey, is it just Betty, or is it Betty and Christina?
It was Betty and Shakiti.
Oh, okay. Who pops in like, hi Betty, hi Shakiti.
So, before you go too
I
far...
think Billy killed a guy.
Hold on, before you go too far. Betty, as you turn to the car, Betty and Shakiti are staring open mouth at Persephone, as if they've seen a ghost.
Doesn't phase Coop at all.
Okay.
Like, doesn't even notice because he's
Hey.
Coop.
Everything okay, guys? Kind of look
In fact,
next to the adults.
even Persephone says, I'm sorry, I know everything is happening quite fast, but are you okay? Are you responsible for these children? We should see that they get to safety. Shakiti takes a moment and yes, you should come with us then. And he holds open the door where Oak and Coop have climbed sort of into the back seat, and motions for Persephone, who... Rosie, are you walking off by yourself?
No, Laz is coming with me.
So she just kind of looks over to where Laz and Rosie are walking away. Are they going to be okay?
Oh, they're gonna come with us. They're just going on. They're. We can't all fit in here.
It's illegal to ride on someone's lap.
Billy, what are you
Oh,
doing?
It's already dangerous enough. It's the
Not
80s.
in the 80s.
No, not in the 80s. Billy, what are you doing as everybody's walking away or getting in the car?
Yeah, I would walk and trying to take a different path or staying away from others at the moment.
Wherever you go, whatever different route you try taking, Anne is walking with you.
Sure.
Oh, Coop, as you are in the back of the car and as Persephone climbs in, she just suddenly goes, "Oh, what?" As a long-haired orange tabby, just so very floofy, jumps up
So
into her
big.
lap and climbs into the car and immediately curls up next to you, Coop, purring loudly. The tag on this cat reads Felicity.
Oh.
Yeah, hi, kitty. Coop's just kind of like uncomfortably shifting.
Not a cat person.
Tamiko loves cats. Coop does not.
Your Statler and Waldorf shirt is especially appropriate right now, Tamiko.
Why, thank you.
Betty turns around to look back at the new passengers in the car and just looks at you, Coop and Oak. There's a lot going on right now. A lot has happened in the last 45 minutes. And I'll be honest, I can't explain it. Where are they going? And where should we be going?
We decided to make a new safe place in the new development because nobody lives there yet.
She looks at Shakidi. That is actually a very smart of you. All right. And she starts the engine, puts the car into gear, and I'm going to say one or both of you, Oak and Coop, would probably notice that as you're driving towards the new development, Betty keeps stealing glances in the mirror, looking at Persephone, who is just looking out the window.
I think Oak would look to, I think Oak would clock that, if anything.
Oh.
But just like not say anything at the moment, but he would keep an eye on it. He's also very curious as to why people are giving her this look.
As the vehicle turns around and heads down the road, kicking up dust, the camera swings over to the field where we see Billy and Anne quite a ways behind Laz and Rosie. And then we cut to the feet stomping through the tall, dried grasses. And we see Laz and Rosie walking through the grass. Something tells me, Laz, you might be having to struggle a little bit to keep pace with Rosie.
Swear to God, I was just about to say that. Rosie is walking at an uncomfortably fast pace and seems to be trying to stay in front of you. And once in a while, you see her like reach up to her face very quickly, and it's not just the bugs, of which there's a lot, because it's summer and we're in a scrubby field. But
I think
she does not say anything.
I think Laz maintains like that distance, like he's trying to hurry to keep up with, but he's not trying to close that gap for a little while. And like when we kind of like find them again, he's got his backpack like swung around to the front of him and is kind of like rummaging through it. kind of like looking at her with a little bit of like an expression of concern on his face. He kind of zips the backpack closed and kind of slings it back over his shoulders. He has something in his hand, and he kind of watches her wipe her eye real quick. Maybe even catches like the faintest sound of like a sniffle. And he kind of looks down at his hand, and then he kind of jogs forward to try to catch up. Hey, I found this in the street, and I just wanted to give it back to you. And he hands her a baseball of hers that he took from the very first day that they met. He didn't find it in the street. It's actually the one that she threw at the black sports car.
Oh my god.
And wrapped around the baseball is one of his black friendship bracelets.
Thanks, Laz. I was almost out of good ones.
Yeah, I figured, maybe the way you throw them, they probably like come apart and shit. So
I wish.
So yeah, you good? Everything okay?
Yeah. Yeah, that lady that was with the kids. Am I just seeing things? Am I crazy? Did she look a little bit like me?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe kind of. She's kind of older,
Well, yeah, I know. Anyway, it's nothing. Thanks for the baseball and for the the friendship bracelet. I've never gotten one of these.
Yeah, I've got some extras and stuff just laying around. It probably just got wound up on the baseball, was in my backpack or something.
Yeah. Whoops.
Yeah. So like, do you know Persephone somehow?
I don't think so. I thought I did for a second. It's hard to explain.
Yeah, it's probably just a coincidence then, right?
Yeah, probably. Anyway, we should keep going.
Yeah.
Billy's kind of
we're
freaking me
almost
out.
there.
I'd like to outpace him if you don't mind.
Sure. Yeah. Do what you gotta do. I'll keep up.
Thanks. Thanks. Really, Laz, thank you.
Yeah, of course.
And as they're kind of like kicking the rocks and doing the teen thing, and all of a sudden Rosie just hugs Laz hard, like kind of out of nowhere, and just you definitely hear her sniffle now. And then she like bursts away from you and like smacks you on both the shoulders and be like, we should keep going.
I think Laz like stays like where he's standing for a good like 5-10 seconds, like completely dumbfounded and caught off guard. And then he and kind of like jogs after her to catch up.
And Rosie, as she walks now, she's not walking quite as fast, and you kind of see her just like tossing this baseball as she walks.
Did she put on the friendship bracelet, or is it still on the wall?
She, I think, would have, like put it on her wrist.
And as Laz turns to catch up with Rosie, the camera stays for a moment, watching the two of them walk away until we hear and then see Billy and Anne walk in the frame. And then we start following along with them as Anne looks over at you, Billy, and just goes, "So what the hell just happened back there?"
I lost control.
Well, no shit. But
Oh shit.
not just that. I saw what happened to that car. And I saw what happened to that guy that you... Well, in the
Killed.
2 guards out back, same thing. They all got pulled into the ground.
They say this particular barn is haunted. I don't know the tale, but you know, we stopped asking questions a long time ago about all the weird shit that we've encountered. Do you think Jessica is okay?
Yeah, speaking of weird shit. I mean, she was... Did you see what she did?
I did.
She like went through that car.
She went through the car?
Yeah, like through it. Like, you ever watch that cartoon Mask? Like the one guy,
I might have seen it.
the one guy's got a helmet thing in his car, and he can like phase through mountains and stuff. That's what Jessica did.
It took me a second.
That was
Yeah, not the movie Mask with
No.
Eric Roberts.
It's like,
or
what?
Eric Stoltz.
First of all,
Here's
that
a
was the
badass.
90s. Oh, no, wait. That's The Mask. Sorry. We're talking about 3 different fucking things.
I saw at least Jeremy
Throw
picked
them
up
all in
on
one
it.
bowl.
I mean, she like went right through it, and I don't know if this will make you feel better or not, but you know, that guy that you, well, I'm pretty sure Jessica did that to like 3 people.
well, the people that are, shall we say, working against us, after us, whatever have you, they're not exactly nice people. So I'm not gonna lose a ton of sleep, but I still don't like the thought of losing control, because I don't want to hurt one of you guys. And you know, in typical fashion, like, you know, we're having this conversation while walking, but like he kind of stops when he says it and like just looks down at the ground, and you know, to kind of like cover it up, like he looks for a rock to kick and kicks it, and then, you know, eventually gets back into stride with her. Do you think that Jessica could be where you normally go?
I mean, I guess it's possible. I didn't expect to be here. I mean, maybe? And you see when she says this, she kind of looks a little scared at that thought. And as a deflection, she goes, "Why? Would you rather Jessica was here with you?"
I'm just worried about her, is all. I mean, you know, we saw what happened to the people that were left on the ground. I didn't see when the 2 of you went after the other 2. I was, well, distracted. I honestly, I don't know you all that much. I mean, you've been just an observer for a lot of our activities?
I was there when it mattered.
I'm not going to argue that point.
I got Jessica out of that room in the lab.
And we are all thankful for that.
I've always sort of been there when things get too hard for Jessica.
Have you been around since before she came to Paradise?
I think so. But I'm not sure. It's only since Jessica showed up at her grandparents that I've sort of become aware. That makes sense. Like, I feel like I was around for longer. Like, I know all of the stuff that Jessica knows. I have the same memories. But wait a minute. Why are we talking about me and Jessica? What's going on with you?
Not a whole lot to really unpack.
As you say that, she like takes her backpack and kind of pulls it around to the front and kind of digs around in it for a minute, and she pulls a small circular plastic thing out and then pops it open, and you see as she pops it open, she turns it away from her, like she doesn't want to look into it, but she opens it up and is holding, it's a compact, and she holds it towards you so that you see yourself reflected in this small mirror. And you see immediately what she's trying to show you. Your eyes are a very deep yellow.
Like the iris, or like the pupil?
Not the pupil, the coloring around.
The coloring is yellow, not like, I'm not sitting here getting jaundiced.
No, you're not jaundiced. Sorry.
Billy drinks too much.
I mean, that's a fair point. No, it looks like, again, 80s
Always
reference.
The first thing to go in a werewolf is the liver.
You've probably seen that classic Friday night show Manimal, about the guy that can turn into a panther and a hawk and something else.
Legit.
It's like that. Your eyes are that like animalistic yellow.
It. I mean, it's not the largest change that's come over me since our time in the orchards. That time with the cherry trees and whatever have you. You and Jessica came out of there with all kinds of things that you can be able to do. When I ran away from the barn, as I got near the trees, I looked up and I saw, even though it's daytime, sometimes you can see the moon. And the joke has already been thrown out there about, me turning into a werewolf or what have you. And I felt something happen. As I kind of stood hiding or observing from the trees. He corrects his language so it's not sounding cowardice. I felt like something was trying to happen. I stopped it. But then after you came up and we came up with the plan of bringing them down. If there's a little bit of advantage that could be had, I figured why not try it? Before I ran off, I looked back at the moon and, well, I didn't fight it off. I just kind of let whatever would happen. Kind of like trails off at that and looks out at the trees, and I imagine we're under some bit of cover, if I remember the map correctly. So the I mean, maybe I was too far from my mic. I apologize. But if I like, imagine we're undercover, so like he looks up towards the sky, but the you know, like the moon can't be seen because we're underneath the trees. But like he looks in the direction that the moon would be, and just instinctively knows, or maybe he just guessed the right direction. Who knows? But looks where it is.
You're actually walking through mostly open fields.
Okay, well then he straight up looks up at the moon again. Like,
I would like you to roll a D100, please.
sure. Lucky number 77.
Hey, nice.
That's not nice.
Okay.
If you remember, he barely contained himself at 47.
Oh, right. I thought it was your patented sliding scale.
Yeah, that's what I thought I was rolling.
This is the intensity scale that we've been using in this game, which is the D100 is straight up 1 to 100, determining how intense something is. As you look up towards the moon, you again hear that sudden doo 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 of your heartbeat. You feel the moon, like you try to look away and you just feel like you can't. And Anne's voice seems to, whatever she was answering you, sounds like it's distant. And again, you feel every muscle in your body tensing as if an electric jolt is going through you right now.
Uh-oh.
You feel like you are being pulled in two different directions. What is going through Billy's head right now as he feels like he's being ripped at a metaphysical level?
So I mean, he's worried for his friends. You know, not only is Jessica missing, but he doesn't fully understand what has happened to him, and he's pretty much, since he left the barn, he feels like he's acting on instinct. It's, he doesn't have the chance to really think about what's going on, which is why he was trying to learn more about Anne and in some ways Jessica, and distract the whole concept of thinking about himself or talking about himself. But then there's the base part of whatever changes have come over him, and whatever that side wants, needs, what have you.
I would like you to roll to not be a D100. I want you to roll grit for me, please.
Sure.
And this is going to be, what's your grit die?
D20.
This will be a DC 20 check. It is possible to go higher than DC 20, but you guys haven't hit that yet. And I'm going to try to tell you more often what DC you're actually going up against.
All right. Now, is this a pass-fail or a sliding scale thing?
This is pass-fail.
All right. I did not pass.
By how
I rolled a
much?
12. I rolled a 12.
So you failed by 8. The failure's bad, but not a disaster. There'll be some short-term consequences that might lead to some immediate difficulties, but nothing that you can't handle if you focus on it. The characters tried to do or been forced to do something beyond their capabilities, and, not surprisingly, have failed. The way this manifests is, for a moment, you feel this primal feral nature of yourself force you to the back of your own mind. It's as if you are in the back seat. If you've ever seen Being John Malkovich, it's almost like you're looking out through your own eyes, but you have no control. As at first you just see the moon in the sky, and then your head whips around and you lock on Anne about 8 feet in front of you.
Oh man.
And then your gaze shifts and you see about maybe 100 yards further ahead, you see Laz and Rosie.
Oh shit.
I would like you to roll me a d12.
I don't think I mentioned earlier how fast we were walking. We were walking so fast, like really, really fast, like almost running.
No,
We've been running this whole time.
I recall there was a thing about slowing down your pace
Oh,
after you got a
God.
friendship bracelet.
Shh, shh.
I got a 4 for whatever that means.
So the way that was in my mind is 1 through 4 is Anne, 5 through 8 was Laz, and 9 through 12 was Rosie.
What'd you roll?
Your gaze shifts back to Anne. And I need you. Billy's doing all the dice rolling tonight.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna need you to roll a fight check, please.
Anna's gonna kick your ass, dude.
And this is gonna be opposed with Anne's brawn. Anne has a brawn of a d12.
30. Oh.
Oh wait, sorry. No, Anne's... Yeah, sorry. Anne's brawn is d12. Alright, what do you got?
I have a 2.
Really?
I rolled a 1. And teams have a +1.
I rolled
lowest.
a 3. So, the attacker's roll is greater.
Stop!
No.
Stop
Defender's roll is
it!
greater. Okay, so
Werewolf fight.
you watch from this sort of passenger position as your wolf nature. Not only do you see your body through your eyes as you charge at Anne, you see for a moment as your hands reach out and it's still like human hands, but you lope on all fours. You dig your claws into the ground, your fingers into the ground, and you pull and you leap towards Anne. Anne turns and reaches up, grabbing a hold of your shirt, and body slams you with your own momentum into the ground. And you see, as you hit, it's as if you're knocked back into the driver's seat of your own body, just in time to feel the wind get knocked out of you. Looking up, you see this sort of inverted view of Anne looking down at you going, "Don't try that again." And then she walks away.
What a fucking stud, dude. I kind of like Anne.
And
I'm gonna say it.
that's where we're going to take our break. It's close enough to break time.
Wow.
We're
Don't
gonna
forget
break
the
on
giveaway,
that.
Jake.
Yep, I do remember that. So we're going to take a break. I haven't done one of these in ages because Dwight was doing them. I'm going to kick off the raffle just as a reminder, as a promotion for Jeremy's The Expedition Engine, available on DriveThru RPG. There are 4 one-page RPG modules there. They are excellent for when you have little time to prep or you want a quick pickup game, narrative style. We got pirates, we got zombies, we got pulp jungle action, and we got high-octane fun. I'm giving away all 4 of them as a bundle. Anybody can enter, and this will go for about, I think, 5 minutes. Of course, now my internet decides to lag.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to kick this off. We're going to run it during the break.
Let's just go to break.
If you win, make sure that you
Nothing to see here.
send your information to the email address. It appears we're giving away a 4-pack. There we go. It is live.
Hey.
So we'll see who wins that while we're on break. Stick around. We'll be back in about 10 minutes. See you on the other side. And we're back. I feel it's important to bring this up. For whatever reason, I do periodically get these internet spikes. It's just internet. I mean, that's the nature of the internet. We have a standing sort of, I don't know, warning or thing here. If for some reason the internet becomes too difficult to stream, we will halt the stream, but we will keep playing offline, and then you can catch the rest of the action on the VOD. It hasn't happened in over a year, but just so you all know what's going on. All right. We are back into the game, and we are picking up at the new construction development. As you all are now gathered there, you have all shown up. You're standing inside a house that has the framing. It's at the back of the new development. Most all of the framing is in place. You can see above you that the flooring is in for the second floor, and there's plastic, that semi transparent, like kind of milky white plastic that's hanging all around to keep the weather out, which does make it a little warm in here, but otherwise, you're all now gathered in there. Betty and Shakiti are there, Persephone, and all of the rest of you. And for those of you that didn't see the cat jump into the Jeep, there is now a fluffy orange cat that is in your midst.
Rosie is like jumping up and hanging on like some beams that are like running across for the second story. Like, yeah, I think this place will be a good place for the meetup if we get separated. I mean, when I say if we get separated, it seems like we get separated a lot. It's weird. It's almost like it's a plot device or something. Anyway, what do we do now?
Is there like electricity run anywhere in this neighborhood at this point?
There doesn't appear to be. However, there are some work lights that have been set up, and they look like they have batteries. And there's a generator that is a gas generator, but it's obviously not running currently.
Rosie seems to be like stealing glances at Persephone. Like every time you would look at her, or if she catches you looking, she would kind of like pretend like she was just looking over that way. But she is definitely trying to like look at this woman and see if she's seeing things.
Billy is sitting with his back to a wall, facing away from whatever direction does not allow him to see the moon, and he is silent and dejected.
I think Laz is also stealing glances, but his glances are not at Persephone. His glances are at Rosie.
Coop's talking excitedly at whoever will let him talk at them. Be it like maybe it's Oak, maybe it's Chiquiti. I don't know.
That's
but...
perfect. I think it's the two littles just like having a chat.
And then the things came up out of the ground and they wrapped around the car and they took the whole car.
It's insane.
It was almost like at the beach with the helicopter. I couldn't believe that. Like, just whoosh.
Well, I mean, you see, like, Oak.
I don't know a whole lot of what's going on, man. I really don't. I think I do, but I don't. It doesn't make a lot of sense. I do know a couple things. One, that barn is definitely a hotbed. Like it's what do you call it? Like it's definitely one of them nexus points.
Oh yeah. Probably.
Yeah.
That is not very surprising that you would find that this is a nexus point. We have identified that a long time ago.
We've all seen this map that
Yeah, Oak's like, yeah, I kind of met myself, sir. That's a really weird thing to have to go through, especially like when you're, 12. You're barely trying to figure out what puberty's going to be like, but, right now, my older self is, and I know it's a lot to handle. Right now, my older self is on a spaceship with, I'm gonna just come out and say it, I think it's a rat man, and he's flying in space, and apparently that rat man now thinks that he can be a god, and I don't know exactly like how to put that into words for people, especially like adults. Like, I don't know how to put that into words for adults.
It's really hard to explain. Oh, Coop's face falls, and he goes, "Oh no, they don't know about Templeton yet."
Quick question. Remind me, Rosie,
Sure.
How much did you tell them when you were at the 7? I don't remember if you told them about
On every.
Did you tell them about Dr. K or was
Yes,
that
I told him about Dr. K and Oak, and that we met Old Oak, I think, and then I said,
that's
I
what I
don't know,
thought.
I just kind of zoned out. Then
Okay. I thought I was remembering that correctly, but
I don't think
the
I
kids...
mentioned Templeton, though. Or
Okay.
Oh, no, I did mention Algernon, and they presumably know that they are one.
As you're talking, Oak, Chiquiti, and Betty are just kind of nodding, and in a way that may be shocking to you as a 12-year-old kid that's used to not being taken seriously by adults, Chiquiti looks at you and says, I'm sorry that this is such a tremendous amount of information and things for you to learn, to have to deal with. Are you doing okay?
He takes a deep breath and then looks around the room, and outside of Jessica. Speaking of which, did Anne come with us though?
Yeah, Anne and
Anne
Billy
here
came
with
in
us, too?
together, yeah.
Okay. So outside of Jessica not being here, I'm gonna be okay. I just kind of wish everybody was here. Make me feel a lot better.
I really hope Jessica didn't get sucked into the ground.
When Oak
Why'd you
says
have to
that-
say that, Coop?
I don't know. I just say things.
As you say that without
Oh man.
without having
when Oak says that, I wish everyone were here.
Go ahead, Ted.
I said when Oak says, "I wish everyone were here," Billy will, to kind of clearly show that he is paying attention and present, just not really saying anything. He will look up and steal a glance at Anne, and realize that Jessica's the only one that's really missing. Not sure why he would just say, "I wish everyone were here," when it's just only one person, and then he'll just go back to listening.
And as you guys are saying this, Anne is sitting on the floor, kind of in the same way that Billy is, but about 6 feet away, and Anne has her knees sort of pulled up, and in that space of her lap is that fluffy orange cat. And without looking away from the cat, she's just sort of petting the cat and looking into its eyes. Guys, I don't know how to explain this, but I kind of think Jessica is here.
Oh fuck! She's doing the thing again. She's doing the thing again.
What do you mean
Man.
she's here?
As if in explanation, Anne holds the cat up.
No, Jessica's always a white cat.
I was going to say the same thing.
Okay, maybe you're not Jessica. And she just sort of stares at this cat.
Does the cat have a look of disgust on its face?
That's a
Does-
great question.
Does the
Jeremy.
glare immediately give ooh? Because if
That's
so,
a great
The
question.
the look the cat gives is very much a wide-eyed orange cat look. It is it kind of looks like it has no idea what's going on.
It's not saying whatever.
It's not saying
It's
whatever.
Not saying,
It's
it's not saying Gertie to the max.
right.
Oh my god.
Shakiti, or not Shakiti, Betty says, well, this is probably a good place, much better than the barn. What in the world made you kids decide to do anything at that barn? I don't know. But this housing development is the Paradise East development that Blue Water Construction has the contracts for this development, but there hasn't been any work done on it in the better part of a year. So nobody comes around here. Sheriff's Department does occasionally patrol at night, making sure nobody's getting up to any good, or getting up to no good is what I meant
That would
to
be
say.
the worst.
We
Can't
call that
allow
a Freudian
good
slip.
to happen in
Yeah.
paradise.
Those hooligans just run around and repair the fences at night.
And they have a can of paint thinner to take down graffiti. Those fuckers.
They put a sign in the,
Samaritans, a lot of them.
they put a sign in front of one of the houses. This is Habitat for Humanity. So
That's a...
I think Laz is he's fished out those brown paper lunches that he was
Oh,
given,
nice. Yes.
and he's handed one to Coop, and he's handed one to Oak, and he's pulled out he's handed the one to Persephone. He's pulled out his own, he's torn it in half, and he's offered it to whoever, Rosie probably,
Rosie has at this point climbed up and is now sitting like with her legs dangling down from one of the like the beams above. And so she would definitely reach down and have a sandwich.
As you hand Persephone one of these big, thick roast beef sandwiches, she looks at you, Laz, and goes, "Oh, I'm sorry. I'm a vegetarian." And then she just goes,
Oh,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Could you imagine? Sorry, no offense to vegetarians. I just...
Les kind of laughs, not really getting her humor.
I imagine at this point, as Laz is handing out the sandwiches, there's just this
And
awkward...
cold at one point, right?
Wait, hold on a second. I think I just missed something. I think I froze. Are you guys there?
Yes.
Stupid internet.
We can still hear you.
I caught the tail end of something Jeremy said, so I don't know if I missed something. Or is Jeremy frozen?
Jeremy might be frozen.
He did say he
Sweet
was in
Jesus.
a... He might have some lower internet.
He's caught up.
Okay.
There he is.
What were you saying,
There he
Jeremy?
is. We're good.
God, we haven't had any indication that she's a rat, other than just we had heard that at some point, right?
I think maybe we just assumed.
We just
Nobody-
assumed
nobody
the entire
has
time
ever
because
said-
everything in the lab were animals.
That Persephone was a rat. You guys just made that assumption.
They're
Okay.
all rats, all of them.
I mean, clearly James isn't a rat.
Speak for yourself. I always thought that Persephone was like one of those little monkeys.
Oh my god, like a rhesus monkey.
Yeah.
Stop. So Rosie would be eating her sandwich, and you would see once in a while just like a little shred of roast beef like fall from the rafters, and she'd be like, "Are we just gonna stay here? When are we gonna go back? Should we wait until night?"
But we need a plan. That's how this works, right?
Oh yeah, but what do we do? We can't stay in our living rooms all summer. That would be dumb. I mean, no offense. The video games are great. I love Duck Hunt, but only so much, you know?
Well, I mean, maybe. Wait, we got a couple things though, right? From the room, right?
The lab, yeah.
Yeah. What'd y'all get? Maybe we can go through that and then figure out what the next step is.
Sure.
And Coop starts rummaging through his backpack and he starts pulling stuff out. And he's like,
That's a mixtape. That's something else. This is. I have to find it on this thing. Okay.
Altamiko is furiously searching her notes. Check us out on
Nope, I've got it.
teespring.com.
I've got it. There's what is it?
he pulls out a seamless metallic chrome object, and it's shaped like a pyramid.
He's. I found this. This guy.
He puts it on the floor, and then he rummages, and then he pulls out a thing that like it's about the size of a hockey puck, maybe smaller, more like a ding dong. And the top of it has like 4 colored like buttons. It looks like a very small version of the Simon game.
I've got this guy.
And I've got these, and he pulls out these really fancy looking sunglasses, whips them open, and puts them on.
Whoa. Look at you, stud. Rosie jumps down and is like mock punching Coop. It's like, look at you. You look like Magnum PI.
Cool. Make me a
I
grit
look like
check.
Tom Cruise in that movie that I'm not allowed to watch.
Yeah.
Give you a what check?
Make me a grit check,
Sorry.
please.
Oh, sure. Oh, sure.
Oh, sure. All right.
Oh,
there.
sure.
Sure, yeah. Oh no. What do you?
Oh, that's a 5.
Hey, all right, all right.
Hold on.
So as you pull out these things, Billy, pulls out his bags. Like I grabbed a couple of things from the workshop, the lab, the barn, whatever you wanna call. And he looks to Oak and should we call your future self Orson? Like I don't.
I mean,
Weird.
I
weird
was just
calling him.
Big Oak.
I was just calling
Old
him
Oak.
Doc. So I mean, you could just call him Doc. That's fine. He's a doctor.
So all right. So in Doc's place, and he pulls out this cylinder that could be a weird flashlight. It definitely has some similarities to like the lightsaber prop or a sonic screwdriver. So like extra knobs and things on the side. I don't know what it does, and he kind of puts that out. And then he pulls out another thing which looks like it's a handle with some kind of like screen or box on top of it. It's like a couple inches on each side. There's some kind of like arms or dongles or something on the side that look like they might be able to move, but he hasn't really filled much with it. I don't know what they do, but they did not look normal.
All I found was this weird ball. Laz says as he's like bouncing this like yellow and blue like striped ball with a red star on it, kind of like against the wall and the floor, and catching it like repeatedly over and over again.
Rosie laughs and she's like, I went to an evil lab and all I got was this stupid ball.
So a couple things. Coop, when you put on these sunglasses that are just a little bit too big for your face, you're kind of looking around like this, kind of holding your head up a little bit just to keep them on your nose. And as you're looking around, you realize just in front of where this house is, this new construction, and just behind it, you see what looks like a glowing blue, almost like a laser line, just shooting through the space in front of it.
Oh.
And another one behind, and it seems that these lines, as you look, they sort of start to converge in the direction of Twilight Grove, and you see them shooting off into other areas, and you can faintly make out in the distance, everywhere you look, you can see these lines. You have the ability
They're
with these
definitively
sunglasses.
lines. They're not like lens flare or anything.
No.
Right?
You can mark this down. These sunglasses allow you to see ley lines.
Oh my god. Yeah. Coop does not have astigmatism.
And
At least not that
Yeah.
he knows.
for now, that's what you know. The other thing that happens is, Carrie, Rosie, I need you to make a grit check, please.
Grit check! This one's sure to go better. Here we go. No,
So
it was worse. I got a 6.
It was a DC 3.
Oh, there we go. Thank God.
Rosie,
Yeah.
your backpack is humming.
Fuck.
Is it doing it in tune?
No. It's
Great
not humming a
question.
tune.
Damn it.
It's
Rosie digs into her backpack.
as you open up your backpack and start rummaging around in there, you see
That little black ball.
a little black ball that was given to you by the drunk in the green space
Found her.
is making the noise and appears to be vibrating.
Does it? So Rosie would not take it out of her backpack. She would reach into her backpack and put her hand on it, like grab it. Does it feel like it's pulling anywhere? Because she saw the magnet incident with Billy's knife, and she wants to know, like, is it pulling somewhere? Because if she like pulls it out, she doesn't want it to like fly off and be gone.
Right now, it does feel like it has weight to it beyond it's the physical weight that you've known so far. When you put your hand around it, you do feel like almost like it's attached to something, but it has give, but it doesn't seem to be pulling in any particular direction.
Okay. I want to pull it out then, and I want to look at it.
You pull it out, and this thing's about maybe, I think we said like an inch in diameter. Solid black, non-reflective. And you sort of hold your hand out. You can all now hear as she pulls this out. Coop, where you placed the pyramid down on the table, you hear at a different frequency. The pyramid is humming.
It's making noise.
So is this. Huh. Rosie would go over. Does Rosie see the pyramid making the noise too? Or
Yeah,
no?
absolutely.
Okay. So I would go over and I just Rosie's kind of stupid. So she just wants to like hit them together. I don't know if that's stupid
Bless
or not.
you.
It feels stupid. Just
As you,
all right, everyone.
No, that's perfect.
Rosie's-
That's the best,
Rosie's like-
let's play with a toy kind of thing. Like, I don't know how it works.
right.
So let's do it.
now
I'm
kiss.
ready. Kiss.
As you tap them together, it's as if two tuning forks are struck simultaneously. They immediately harmonize. They synchronize their vibration pattern. And you feel just a slight pull as if they're trying to pull away from your hands.
Where? Which way?
Up. Just very slightly. They're not like forcefully yanking up. Like they just
Okay.
feel like they've become lightweight in your hand.
Interesting. All right. As I like move them apart and bring them together, what happens?
They are now in sync.
Mr. Wizard.
No matter where you move it around, you hear that now almost in stereo, that wow, wow, wow.
Okay. Okay. Well, these are noisy now. And Rosie puts them both down and just like...
As you set them down, as soon as you take your hands off of them, the pyramid levitates 6 inches off the surface.
Cool.
The orb levitates, and the pyramid begins to go. It's now spinning around so fast it looks like it has multiple points, like it's a star shape. And the orb, the little black orb, moves closer and is continuing to vibrate in harmony with this. And you see this thing moving so fast that it now has a slight blur to it, but it now almost looks like a
sphere.
Like not a sphere. It looks like a multi-pointed. If you've ever seen like when helicopter blades are turning so fast that the rolling shutter of a camera makes them look like they're just not moving at all.
Yes. Yes.
That's what's happened with this, except it now looks like it has, I guess it would be, I don't know, mathematically I can't figure this out. There's probably like 12 or more
like
points to it.
Bit from the original
a
Tron.
dodecahedron?
Yeah, sure. And
Amazing.
the orb, or the sphere, you see, now that this thing's just kind of vibrating in space looking like this, you see a thin blue light, the same color that you see the ley lines as through the sunglasses, suddenly just goes between the orb and this thing. They're only about maybe a foot apart. And as it hits it, you see the orb start to move towards it. And then this chrome multi-pointed object separates. Each point separates out. And you see an energy center that this thing moves towards. And as it gets closer, it just goes Closes, and the whole thing drops to the surface of the table. The pyramid is now a dodecahedron with, at each point of convergence, it comes. If you play in Baldur's Gate 3, I think I just sort of described the relic, the artifact, to a certain extent. It doesn't have runes or artifacts on it, but it now looks like that. Perfectly chrome, sitting on the table. It is no longer humming. It is no longer doing anything except being an inanimate object.
So was that
Shit.
good or bad, do you think?
I mean, we're still alive, and nobody else is a wolf man, so good, I think.
Yeah.
I
Coop?
think my grandpa Albert puts one of those on the Christmas tree every year.
Yeah. Coop, it's all yours.
Hold on a second. Can we back up? This is Betty. What was that about a wolf man?
Thank you. Nothing. Sorry. Just
What?
imagination.
What was that about a wolf man?
Nothing, ma'am.
Billy's a wolf man.
Ugh, Coop.
I
What?
mean, we gotta tell him sometime, y'all, just in case.
Rosie, we can't help you if you keep stuff from us.
Billy's a wolf man. Sorry,
Shakiti
Billy.
and Betty immediately look at Billy. He doesn't look like a wolf or a man at this point. No,
He's looking more like a man every day. Billy, show him your biceps.
So
Take him to the gun show.
Billy gets up, and they've already seen the shirt covered in blood, so it's nothing new at this point in time. And he's already been shirtless in front of the crew, so he'll do it again. Pulls the whole shirt off. After we got taken to the orchard, they did something to me. I feel a pull to the moon. I imagine my eyes are still yellow at the moment based on what Anne told me. I'm stronger, faster. Heck, I beat a full-grown man to death with my fists when it to them. And then on the walk over here, I looked at the moon and looks over at Anne before he finishes, and lost control. I crouched on all fours and tried to do something to Anne. I don't know what. And she threw me and yelled at me. Being in control of my senses.
and I'll do it again if I have to.
She threw me and yelled at me.
I can keep him in line, don't worry.
Damn.
But that was you, Billy. Still sort of you. Are you gonna go full werewolf tonight?
Well, I'm gonna pay more attention to what I'm doing. I have even now I feel the urge, and he kind of moves his arms, lets them see, and then grabs the shirt, puts it back on, and kind of slinks back down into the corner, still being aware of what the position is, and be like, I still want to look, and I'm more aware that I need to not do that. I don't know what is happening. I don't know if there's more of a progression, but I feel the pull, and it feels like if I give in, that I can lose control. When I went after Anne, it was as if someone or something else was piloting me, and I was just along for the ride.
This is not good, Billy.
No.
And you seem surprisingly calm. In the face of the fact that you could go very feral because of a moon.
He's an Eagle Scout.
I'm trying. I'm just a scout.
And I'm a 140-year-old sailor.
Look, there's basically every day there is some new problem, challenge, struggle, something weird. I mean, heck, Jessica and I were disintegrated and transported across the town, experimented on, been told that where their toys, their puppets, to do with as they please. And it's scary that something could happen. I'm terrified that I might hurt the wrong person. I don't want that to happen, and I will, if I've got to say, I will run off into nowhere. I will charge headlong into the guys with guns before I'd willingly hurt any of you.
Hey, Billy, we're glad you're here, you know?
Yeah, man.
And Laz, like, tosses a Twinkie over to him.
Yeah. I mean, if
Well, do I
there's
dare use the pun that I wolf it down?
stop. You stop it.
Always intend your puns.
Rosie would
Wait.
kind of shrug and say, if there's going to be a wolf man running around, I'd rather have him be on our side. Right?
You say that now, but an hour ago you were scared.
Well, shit, I was. Fucking, I didn't know for sure it was you. It was very sudden. I've seen it now. I get it. I've had my time to process.
All right, kids,
I'm
listen
glad you're
up.
on our side.
Listen up. This is Betty talking. You've faced a lot of stuff. We can't even begin to summarize the things that you all have gone through since you came to Paradise. And it's been explained to you that you are anomalies here. We cannot account for what your place is in what's happening in Paradise. We cannot predict, so we don't know how to prepare for things. The closest we had was when Dr. K came to us. We didn't fully, honestly believe him until we met you, Oak. And then we could see it. You've proven yourselves capable so far of being able to deal with a lot of what's happening. You need
Not
to
be a
keep
jerk,
up.
We really haven't had a choice.
You don't. That's what I'm telling you right now. I hope you weren't expecting us to come in as the adults and give you all the answers and whisk you away. That's not going to happen here. Because of what is happening.
Want, you know, but if you're going to talk about like us being completely candid and like open and honest with you, then like how about like y'all be honest with us? Like you're called the 7 and we met 5 of you. You didn't mention that one of the other members of your group was like one of us grown up, and like now you're looking at like Persephone all weird. Like
still don't know who the last one is.
We didn't tell you about Dr. K because he was undercover. We had to wait until whatever forces are interacting in what's happening here in Paradise revealed itself. As I said, we don't know what's happening. We can barely react to what's happening. We are doing our best to figure it out. You all are going to have to continue to watch each other's backs and protect one another. Because whatever is happening is not just happening to you. It seems to be happening both because of and in spite of you. And yes, we haven't told you who the sixth member, or the seventh member of the seven is.
Seventh.
Because there is no seventh member anymore. The spot has been vacant for several years. And believe it or not, she has something to do with it. She and Shakiti turn to Persephone. And Persephone looks up and says, I'm sorry, what? I'm involved in this? And Betty says, looking at all of you, indirectly, yes. This is why we've been looking at her so suspiciously. We don't know why she's here or exactly who she is, but look closely at her. Look very closely at her. Does everybody look at her?
I don't.
Okay.
Rosie is specifically not looking at her.
Yep. Coop's doing the examine.
As you
Examine.
look at her,
She's just an older lady.
you realize there is something just vaguely familiar about her. Something vaguely familiar, but different. It's kind of like when you're used to seeing somebody a certain way and suddenly they change their hairstyle and the color of their hair and their posture and the way they speak. I would like everybody to roll me a grit check. Everybody that is looking at Persephone. And I will roll.
Rosie is faking like she pulls back the plastic and she's pretending like she's like looking out for enemies, but is just doing anything to not look at this woman.
This is not a pass or fail. This is more of a I want to see who gets it.
Ooh, damn, Ted. So observant, Billy.
Well,
Such observes. So roll.
listening. He's listening and watching, so not talking. You're able to pull in more information.
This also makes sense, Billy, because you actually suddenly realize why didn't I see this before? As you look at her, you kind of squint your eyes and you picture her not wearing Laz's sweatpants and t-shirt and shoes, not with her hair pulled back in a ponytail, but you see her with her hair jet black, pulled into a tight bun, wearing a black suit and heels, and a badge around her neck that says Director Ashley Raven. But not It's not her specifically. You see it in the same way you would see, like, you realize, oh, this woman is related to Director Raven.
So I would ask them, are you related to her?
Ted just cuts right to it. Are you two sisters? Such a badass. I love you. Well done, Ted.
She looks at you. Am I... What? Who? Related to who?
To Dr. Raven.
I don't... And she's kind of looking around furtively, not like she's, like, suspiciously. She's like somebody that is searching within their own mind, trying to... I don't know.
And I would turn back to Betty. So does that mean Dr. Raven was the other member?
Ashley Raven was the 7th member of the set.
Oh, damn. Fucking Detective Billy. Let's go. Let's go.
So that means she knows about all of you. She
does.
Like, pass along all the information that you guys found out to create Mr. Happy program of experimentation, or did she leave you to join them?
She didn't leave us to join them. She left us to start the Nexus project. When Ashley began to see what the ley lines were capable of, and we were all taking safety precautions to observe and analyze, it wasn't enough for her. She wanted to directly experiment with. It wasn't until it was too late that we realized that Ashley Raven was an anomaly herself. She first came to Paradise in 1950 something. She was at the center of some very bad things that happened, and they happened at the barn, and she was responsible for it, and somehow she hid that from us.
Time out real quick. Being from Michigan, would Billy and I have heard of like the incident that was like around? We might not know it was like that barn, but would we have heard like whispers of that? Like,
I think
the teens that went missing, and it was still a big mystery. And yada, yada.
Yeah, maybe.
No?
I mean, like, there would have been whispers of, because you had heard about.
There's a lot of mysteries up here. It maybe got lost to the ether.
You had heard about the pumpkin face killer from the 1970 something. So I think maybe you might have heard something about some missing kids. But remember, there was never any details released about what happened. So,
okay.
Persephone.
I was playing it off as like, we know that the barn is supposed to be haunted, so that's all I was playing it up.
Persephone is still looking horrified. distraught, not horrified, but distraught, unsure. Doesn't seem to really know what's happening. She's taking all of this in, and she looks at you, Laz. I didn't know any of this. And you see her eyes.
I don't think anybody's.
You see her eyes roll back in her head. And you all watch as she steps out of herself. And I guess for everybody that's not Coop, Oak, and Laz, this is something new. And you see this sort of ethereal form of her. And you hear in a ghostly tone as she says, "I'll be back." And vanishes.
The shit.
Now this is
hell?
a thing. This is a thing
Yeah.
she does.
Yeah, okay. That's freakier than Wolfman. Oh.
Yeah, it was a little unnerving the first time she did it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh.
I would like, first of all, you all need to know. You need to decide what you're going to do about, if anything, about Billy. It is a full moon tonight.
Of course.
I suggest you take precautions. Protect yourselves. If you are okay with it, we will take Persephone with us back to the Circle of the Seven. We have questions.
I mean, you gotta ask her.
We can't
She just
exactly.
went away.
She gone. So, yeah, I mean.
And we
that's
can't just
fine.
leave her here.
No. Well, she can't really, like, go back and spend the night in Laz's house.
Will she
Oh, yeah.
know how to get back to her body if you move her body? Or will
I hope
whatever
so.
that is come back to this spot?
I don't even know
So,
what she is or what she did. But I would assume she could make it back to her body. I just don't like the idea of just leaving her like this.
I think that's fine. And Rosie would look over at Billy and be like, Billy, I mean, you know you. What should we do about you?
Well, before they said that they were going to take her, I was going to be like, all right, well, you want to keep me away from looking at the moon. The basement where the seven is would be, a good idea. That hidden room where we found, the dock. Lock me in there. I don't know. I mean,
Say go out to the dunes. There's not going to be anybody out there at night. I mean, what's the worst you're going to get into? A rabbit? Like, guys, if you have any better ideas, there's a lot of space out there, man. A lot of land. State land out that way. You know-
Maybe the
with that.
lighthouse.
The lighthouse would be good. I don't know.
And then Oak sort of pipes up for a second. Guys, I'm just gonna be honest. We haven't gone there yet, and I genuinely don't want to go there. But the old Stapler house
Nope.
has a bunch of bar. Look, it's got a bunch of shutters. We can shutter. Just hear me
Nope.
out. Hear me out. We could shutter all the windows. We can close all the drapes. There won't be any moon, no light, no nothing. and we could just go there for like
you could ju-
a night until it's
could-
over.
He could
Nope.
bust out of there, Oak. And that's so close to town. If he got into town like he gets,
I mean, it's just a thought. It's just a thought, but I
it's
just
a good thought. That's a
So
good thought.
where on the map is the new development?
Let's consult the map that I printed.
So if you look at the map,
I'm the map. I'm the map. I'm the map.
I'm the map.
immediately to the left of Twilight Grove, to the west.
Oh my god. Shut.
That whole big
Alright, so
section in there.
We're a ways away from the water line. I'd have to like go all the way through town.
The water line is a mile and a half.
Because talking about heading out towards the lighthouse, I think a evening away from everybody on the beach, seeing what exactly the moon is going to do away from everybody,
But what if you murder another guy?
that would suck. I mean,
I think the
there's-
best. Go ahead.
the best thing to do is to see what's the worst. Like, I'm not gonna give in again. I'm gonna try and resist whatever happens, but we don't know. And if we operate from a standpoint of lack of knowledge, it's always going to be a problem. But if we've got the ability to find out, then at least we know and can know what to do next.
And there's not going to be anybody on the beach at night. The beach closes at sundown. If he goes north of the lighthouse, there's nothing up there except rocks and that lake. I think that'd be the best shot of staying away from people. And then he can figure out what he can do and how much it takes him and all of that.
Or not.
Or not.
But
Or not. It's probably going to be not, man. It's going to be not. You're going to be able to fight it off. I know it.
If you hadn't
Well,
have-
I'm just thinking normally there aren't people on the beach, but like that thing just happened. It was a whole spectacle with the helicopter crashing and there were crowds. Are you sure there's not going to be people on the beach at night?
wait, Coop,
might-
you don't know this.
They might be curious.
that was weeks ago, wasn't it?
Erasmus.
Isn't 3 weeks?
Laz, did you tell
Not
Coop
to
and
Coop.
Oak what was going on with the date on the paper?
Sorry, my internet is shit in the bed.
Did you?
Did you tell us about the seeing the date on the paper? I cannot remember, legitimately.
I think I did. Yeah, I think so.
I thought he might have mentioned it. So I
Okay.
think everybody.
Doesn't matter. Coop's reaction is
Yeah.
still exactly the same because it has not been 3 weeks to him.
It's been 3 weeks.
If nobody objected before you had this conversation, Shakiti and Betty would have carefully loaded Persephone into the Jeep and
I will
left.
say, seeing her kind of unconscious and looking the way she looks, Rosie spots that and is troubled.
Rosie.
Mm.
At a certain point, as the conversation is happening and after they've left, you feel somebody standing next to you. And you just feel a slight bump against your shoulder. And Anne is standing there holding the cat. And she's just kind of doing that, like, bump your shoulder to get your attention.
Mm-hmm.
And she just
I
looks
look
at
over.
you and she goes, "You all right? You look like you've seen a ghost."
And then Rosie kind of like visibly steels herself, and she is continuing to look at Shakiti and Betty carry Persephone out, and she kind of nods and just says, "I feel like I've seen a ghost."
She doesn't say anything more, but she stays standing next to you.
It is appreciated.
So, is your plan to head to the lighthouse then? I would
That
say
was
by
gonna be-
now it is late afternoon. Just so you have a sense of the time.
Yeah,
We'll say, like,
I was gonna,
4.
Voice that opinion that I would, probably be heading out that direction probably in the near future. But before I go, Anne, have you checked your reflection to see if she's there?
Yeah. We should check. You should check at least.
And for a second, she looks terrified. Like, she doesn't want to do it. And then
You don't have to. We have to find her.
you see Anne do...
Rosie puts her hand on Anne and just
You see Anne do the...
puts her hand on Anne and just says, "It'll be okay."
Anne takes a deep breath and suddenly just shakes off that look of fear, thrusts the fluffy orange cat into Rosie's arms, and walks purposefully over to Coop. Puts her hands on your shoulder and bends down to look right in your face and into the sunglasses.
Oh.
And she goes, "Yo, you in there?" And then she actually reaches up and just lightly goes tuk, 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 on your sunglasses. "Hello?" No, she's not there.
This is really weird.
Coop's never been this close to a teenage girl before.
She stands up and just kind of tousles your hair. All right, so are we gonna take Wolf Kid here to the lighthouse, or what's the deal?
Yeah. And guys, I mean, tell me if you got any other plans, but what if the rest of us stay in the lighthouse? Stay up there tonight. We can have a slumber party. And watch Billy
on the door.
and see what happens to him.
Is there a lock on the door?
I think so. There was a big bar, wasn't there? And Rosie is very intimate with this door because she flew out of it into a
Was
effing
there?
storm.
Was there a big
How-
bar on the door in our time?
I don't remember. I actually don't remember.
I don't remember
Was
either.
there? I remember it being a heavy, thick ass door. I thought.
The only
but
thing you can be certain of is it's a green door with a brass handle.
There you go. We can blockade it. It'll be fine.
Well,
I'm sure it'll be fine.
So the next
And
question:
if we're up high,
do you go now? Do you wait until evening?
I think we head out now. This way, like, we can look at the door, and if we don't feel it's sturdy enough, strong enough, supportable enough, we can convince, they can find somewhere else to go while I go on a, camp out on the beach.
So you all, with this plan firmly in place.
firm-ishly.
Yeah.
Like Jello.
You all leave the new construction here at Paradise East development. And as you exit, all of your bikes are parked out in front of this house.
Motherfucker.
Laz's skateboard is leaned up against a pile of lumber. And as you all start walking towards your bikes, you hear whoop, whoop, woo, as
Shit,
the sheriff's vehicle
no.
pulls into the area, the open area in this development, and drives right up to all of you. And Deputy, I think his name was Andy Harwell,
Andy Harwell.
gets out of his car and says, "You kids look like you're going somewhere. Before you do anything, we've got a few questions for you." The passenger door of the sheriff's vehicle opens, and Director Ashley Raven steps out.
Oh no!
And that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
God damn it, Jake.
Damn it, Jake! I want the next MTD T-shirt to be "God damn it, Jake!" Oh shit! We had a plan. I love you, sneaky fucker, because you were like, "Okay, guys, what's the plan? Make sure you have a plan. What's the plan?" Da, 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 da.
Lay it all out for me.
And then
I even
bitch
lightly
slap.
tipped my hand when I interjected and retconned that Chiquiti, Betty, and Persephone had left already.
I was waiting for the
So
shoe
did
to
they
drop.
leave or not? Did
They did.
leave?
Yeah, they're
They did.
gone.
They made it
At
out.
this point,
Okay,
they've been
good,
they've
good. At
probably
least
been
there's
gone
that.
for like 20 minutes.
On the upside, a jail cell might not be a bad place for Billy to spend the night.
I good noted.
So-
If they're all in there with him,
But
that-
what if he puts us all in the same cell?
Oh,
No
that would
better
be a
place.
In
problem.
this
Yeah.
situation,
They're gonna separate us. It's the prisoner's dilemma.
in
It's-
this situation, what's worse, that Sheriff Deputy Andy Harwell showed up, or that Director Raven is with him?
Director Ravenworth.
Rosie's dad is in law
Yeah.
enforcement. She is equally afraid of having this on her record, and also Ashley Raven, because fuck her.
I mean, Andy Harwell's just a chud. Like, whatever.
Laz isn't afraid of him.
You know,
We're
you know
not
who
afraid of
Andy
him, he's
Harwell
just
is
annoying.
in my mind. He's
Gates?
the cop in the
Sorry.
Goonies that never believes Chunk. He's the one.
Yes!
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yes!
totally who he is in my mind.
100%. 100%.
So- All right. Well, that was our Hungry Like a Wolf session 24.
Damn. Oh, Billy.
honestly-
Oh, no, Billy.
Honestly, in my mind, I thought we were going to get to the nighttime and we were going to deal with Billy's situation. But there were a lot of random dice rolls, and I have to leave it to you guys to see where you want to go and what you're going to do.
Next week, Hungry Like a Wolf Part 2.
Yeah.
So,
Starving
Oh,
like
at
a
least
wolf.
it's not full like a wolf. Hopefully it's not that.
Hey, you know,
It'll
Billy's fast. He can just nope right out of there.
it'll
Like,
probably be something
And so
like
is fucking
the Wolf
Jessica.
Sour.
Jessica's so.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
Oh
Is
my
Jessica
God.
going to be back next week? I don't know.
Who
So-
knows?
Yeah.
I
Find
will.
out next time on MTD.
So I have to admit something, and I will leave it up to you. I forgot that Jessica is the white cat, and so I randomly rolled. So
Oh.
it's either the white cat all along, or it's an orange tabby, and you just think
Secretly,
it's her.
we take the cat in, wash it. It's the orange
it's
falls
just
off.
dirty.
just
It's rust from the construction
Just
site. He's been
rust.
Oh
rubbed
my
up
God.
against the rusty.
because the only difference
rubbing
is
itself
the only
up
difference is
against rebar.
that the cat is orange. I mean, the white cat was fluffy.
I
and
think
the
he's
name
just
tag.
rusty.
the Jessica's name tag actually said Jessica though.
Yeah, well, I think we'll roll with
She's
it.
undercover.
I think we'll roll with it that it's Felicity. But Anne seems to think possibly that it's Jessica. All right, so that's it.
Amazing.
Just a quick rundown, because I know we've got some new people hanging out with us in chat. So thank you and welcome. Hope you enjoyed this very different than D&D game. If you type !schedule, you can see that on Monday nights we have Scribes and Scrolls, which is a Pathfinder 2e game that Carrie is a part of, and M, who's not here. Every other Tuesday, for reasons we postponed the game this Tuesday, so it'll be in 2 more weeks, is Sky Metal Iron Gods, which is a D&D 5e campaign. We had to basically roll all new characters because we had a TPK a couple weeks ago. We had we have one Wednesday a month, so I think it's supposed to be next Wednesday, is Mythos
Correct.
Investigators, our Call of Cthulhu game, Lawlerville, which only has 2 episodes left. We've been running that all year long. Of course, Thursdays is this game, Welcome to Paradise, Michigan. It is a weekly game. All of these are weekly games unless otherwise specified. I believe we may have settled on a date in the next couple weeks. I'll tell you this right now, regardless. Next Friday, I will be over on Erasmus Expeditions for small things,
Household.
little people. I forget what
All
it's
the little
called.
things.
All the
small
little things. All the small things. Whatever it's called. It's a
Close.
game of
All
household
the
that Jeremy's running.
small things.
And then I believe we locked in the 20th.
I
27th.
don't.
27th.
No, I'm talking to Ted this time.
Yeah,
all right.
I
So-
don't know. Our DM's schedule is
So yeah, okay.
currently a kerfuffle.
So either on the 20th or November, Ted and I will be back on Nerdarchy for our monthly, The Old Guard, a wonderful Da Vinci Punk style investigate. It's very investigative.
Love that. term.
We all
too.
play old retired adventurers
That are back
called
at
in
it
for.
again
We're back
Age
at
is
it.
only a
after-
number.
Yep.
after 20 years of retirement, essentially.
Yeah, and then on the 27th, Carrie and Jeremy and Chad and myself and a couple others will be over on Erasmus Expeditions for the second act of, and I believe that's the final act, correct?
It will be. Yeah.
Of our Clue Fiasco game, which is some real deep role play stuff set in what's our time frame again?
1950s.
Something like 1950s.
Yes.
There's everybody stabbing everybody in the back. I don't know how we have free hands to do anything else because we're just
There will be
shoving
so
knives
many
into
weapons.
everybody's back.
So many weapons.
It's the Catherine Hepburn times.
Right. So lots of great
Somebody's
stuff going
gonna
on. Couple quick notes. ! Donate. You can still donate to the Legends of Eleanor campaign. That's still running. ! YouTube if you want to catch up on VODs of all of our games. Normally I have these recordings up by the following weekend. A little behind because of the charity game. Shout out to Purple Swirl, who has been with us all night. And came to us through the Legends of Eleanor game, who won my giveaway for the
Purple Swirl.
4-pack of Erasmus Expeditions Expedition Engine. I did see the email come through, so I will get back to you probably tomorrow or Saturday, and I'm going to email you your 4 PDFs, and hope you enjoy those because I can't imagine you wouldn't. They're fantastic. I think
if you didn't win, head over to Drive-Thru RPG.
Yeah.
Look up
Yeah.
Erasmus Expedition. or
Exclamation
Expedition
point
Engine,
Erasmus.
It's worth the buy.
Yeah,
And, pick 'em up.
exclamation Erasmus will take you to the direct link to that storefront.
Dude, Purple Swirl also bought a shirt. My merch talk finally paid off.
Well, I think they're saying they bought one of the
Or from the
shirts for Legend of Eleanor.
Eleonora?
Which,
Bitchin'.
if I'm not mistaken,
Love
if
it.
you head over to Nerd Circus, thenerdcircus.com, today or tomorrow is the last day to get those. All profits go to benefit the Pablo Foundation. I have one. It's the beautiful art by Julia Madalena. that captures the spirit of the game. It has the name. It has Pavlov's and Nerd Circus and MTD's logos painted into it. Limited edition. So head over for that. I think that's about it. Thank you to everybody who tuned in. Thank you for any new followers and anybody who supported the channel, all that good stuff. If you're somebody that watches quietly in the background, lurking while we run these games, thank you. We appreciate you. Or if you're watching later on VOD. And of course, as always, a huge, tremendous thank you to all of these amazing people that I get to roleplay this game with each week. And so many other games. It's if you can get yourself friends like this, people that you know without a doubt you're going to have a good game because you can just implicitly trust them to embrace the roles and also have fun. I think that was demonstrated tonight. So a huge thank you to Chad, to Miko, Carrie, Ted, Jeremy, and though they weren't with us tonight, they were with us in spirit, M, without whom this would just be me talking to myself for a couple hours. With that, we're going to end this stream the same way we end every stream, and you can say it with me if you want.
My tiny little nipples.